So as you can see, I got 3 screens right there, and I just added a new screen to my entire setup, and it's not that one there. It's that guy right there. Now this screen behind me is a Dell E773C. It's a pretty budget monitor from back in 2003, nothing to write home about. But the reason I'm gonna be using this instead of this, how do you say it? Trinitron? Sony screen is because I mistakenly figured out that this isn't the best for high-end PC gaming, and I'll get into that in just a minute. We're gonna talk about the screen and show you some footage from the screen, but I really wanna cover how good this old Dell looks. Now, normally on this channel, I do mostly PC fixes and a bunch of PC related tech. So of course, we're gonna be using an RTX 5090 system to test this CRT, which is totally overkill and stupid, but we're gonna be doing it anyways, just because that's what I got. But I wanna give a shout out to the channel Found Tech.
So much so that I choose this over this nearly every time I play, which sounds completely insane.
He recently had a CRT video basically stating that his CRT is better than his OLED. And it's not saying that the OLED is inferior or he thinks the OLED is worse. He just feels like playing on the CRT is a better experience for him, and it made me start to question things. It's been a long time since I've actually used a CRT. So I went out and bought this Trinitron. My wife and I took a trip to Worcester, which is about an hour drive, so we did a 2-hour drive. Picked up the Trinitron. It's a giant, super heavy TV, and I figured that this would be the way to do this, but I was obviously completely wrong. I'm a CRT newbie. I know very little about this stuff, so you guys can correct me as many times as you want. It'll be helpful to me, so please do that down in the comments. Shortly after, I did bring my wife to a museum in Worcester, which was really cool, and then we headed back. And the first time I set this up, I ordered an adapter that downscales, and I'll leave that link down below. There's no affiliation. So I can downscale a image to 480i, which that's where I started to run into a little bit of trouble. Let's jump over to some of that footage so you guys can see what I mean. So right out of the gate, you're gonna see some lines going across the screen, of course, because this is a CRT, and the tube is emitting rays. All right, so this is Shadow of the Empire. It's an excellent game, classic game. I used to love playing this as a kid. This level is actually a little scary sometimes. I used to chase this thing all the way down here and try to catch it. Never could, but let's get into why I'm using this retro game as an example, because you can see the colors, how beautiful stuff looks. Obviously, this is 240p instead of 480i interlaced. And so basically, we're just using it as a sample here. This room right here, there's one of those giant things somewhere. But yeah, so as you can see, this looks pretty good, and no problems obviously, because this is what it's meant to play. All right, so I have the lights off so that the screen is as visible as possible, and you're gonna notice a few things. There's this, I call it wobble. There's tons of different terminologies online, but from what I've researched, essentially what's happening is the capacitors in this power supply, when you brighten up the screen, it starts to cause like pixel movement or wobbling. It's not actually pixel movement, but so as you can see here, we do have a kind of squeezed, compressed image, as this is a 4:3, I believe, versus the 16:9. So that is going to be a little bit tough with games, as you'll see in a second. Starting out on the Sony, as you can see, the MSI Afterburner overlay is slightly falling off the screen, mostly just on the top and a little bit on the left, but everything else is mostly visible. So in person, this actually does look pretty good until you get to menus or anything that is a small text. Then it's a real hard time to read. And some games do this better than other games that have larger text, but Cyberpunk is just way too small to read here. Now I started to lose track of time while playing this on the CRT, and it doesn't look the best, but for some reason its nostalgic presence made it more fun to play. I don't know why. There's going to be a few things like this speed limit sign that look a little bit wonky and compressed, and then your draw distance is just going to be awful. That's just the nature of it. Now jumping over to the Dell monitor, I was very surprised as to how good this looks. I did lower the frame rate a ton here to get this image very clean, but it's surprisingly beautiful on this screen.
Okay, on our way.
Now this looks a ton better while playing it, and not only that, I can pretty much read everything even though the screen is smaller, but that is because we have a higher resolution. Currently we are at 1024 by 768p. And there really is something interesting about this experience. You got to think back to when we were younger and playing on a CRT as kids, we had lower graphical engines, lower graphics quality, and now that we're pushing max quality, everything in this game is maxed out. there's some sort of strange glass door effect where it almost looks like you're looking out a window while you're playing this, which brings me to the game Bodycam. Now, this game is an ultra realistic looking game. We are maxing out the settings here, and on surprisingly both the Sony and the Dell, we're getting a pretty decent quality. Again, there are some visibility issues on the Sony where it's hard to read some of the menus, and hands down, I'm going to be picking the Dell all the time throughout this video, but I do got to give a little credit to the Sony TV because it does look half decent here. Now, there was one game that I just enjoyed more on the TV, even though it looked a little bit better on the Dell. I think the bigger screen on the TV just made SpongeBob's Battle of Bikini Bottom Rehydrated a better experience overall. But as you can see here, they both look very good. I can read the text in the menus on both the TV and the Dell. And yeah, overall, this was a pretty fun game to play. Now, no CRT test would be a CRT test without Grand Theft Auto. And I wanted to test the newer definitive edition over the older ones, mostly because we kind of know what that looks like on these screens. Now, I know somebody's going to argue this, but the definitive edition does have upgraded graphics over the original, so that's why we're testing the new one. Now, the game looks pretty good, but I wanted to show you guys on purpose what it looks like to increase the picture quality, and that's when you start to get a ton of wobble on the TV. Now, this might just be my TV having issues being older, but it's something to consider when buying any CRT. Now, I did move over to San Andreas, the definitive edition, on the Dell CRT, just to test the two different games, but it's basically the same engine. And hands down, again, it looks way better. It's a little bit less colorful, of course, and this game, particularly in this area of the map, is very, very like blue and green. But overall, I would say that this is the better experience. Now, do keep in mind, I have been turning the lights off, and the Dell is a lot less bright versus the TV, so that is a factor to think about. Now, I really need to clear up something here. I have both cheaper end stuff. The Trinitron is actually a lower end model, and then the Dell CRT is a low end model. The video that we watched earlier with the guys featuring a very nice screen is a very expensive IBM screen. In fact, this is it here, and we're seeing it for about $360, but they kind of vary and go all over the place. I've seen them on eBay before, $500 to $600, so it really depends on how you can find it. And it does look really good. There is something about that CRT specifically that he has that looks awesome, and there are other models that do perform really well and look really good. But again, this kind of goes back to like CRT or modern OLED. They're both sucking a ton of power out of the wall, actually, and they're pretty equivalent in some ways, depending on how big you go. If you go with like a 75-inch OLED TV, the CRT and the OLED are going to be pulling very similar numbers energy-wise. That being said, I don't know. I would still obviously have a full modern setup over going with just a CRT, but it is cool to have the CRT as a side thing to every once in a while jump over to, enjoy some retro content, some older content, or even some modern games that work and look good. That game Bodycam was actually way more fun on the CRT than it is. Now, I did say this in the beginning, it's kind of goofy to be testing this on an RTX 5090, but if you do want to turn on path tracing and all that kind of stuff in a game like Cyberpunk, you do need a decent card. You do not need a 5090, absolutely no way. I think a sweet spot would be something like a 3060 up to like a 4070 or something like that to get a decent experience and be able to turn on all the bells and whistles. In Cyberpunk, at this low resolution, we were seeing 89 to 95% usage in specific scenes, which is pretty crazy. So I don't normally do retro stuff too often. Occasionally I'll do a retro computer or something, but if you're into computer fixes, if you're into tech and all that kind of stuff, definitely subscribe to the channel. I basically upload every week as far as the last year has gone. But yeah, so we're gonna keep doing that. And also, if you are in the New England area, I absolutely recommend checking out this museum in Worcester. It's really cool. It's just the Worcester Art Museum, and they had tons of like knights in shining armor and just all sorts of unique stuff in there. I highly recommend it. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Appreciate you watching to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.